How is it going, everyone? And happy 4th of July to everyone that celebrates the holiday. And honestly, I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate 4th of July on here rather than giving a Blu-ray review, of course, for the brand new WWE home video release of Owens Fight, the Kevin Owens story. Of course, Kevin Owens being the new face of America. It's only appropriate that I review this Blu-ray on 4th of July. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Of course, this is the Blu-ray edition. This is available on DVD 3 to 7 if you want to pick that up instead. But you know what? It's 2017. Gotta go with the Blu-ray nowadays. But here's the cover. Very basic cover. Of course, you have Fight Owens Fight. Picture of Kevin Owens with the Universal Championship, and it says Kevin Owens story. Very basic, but it catches the eye, and I like it. You know, with the red and black in the background as well. It looks nice. I like how it turned out. And of course, here's a spine looks like on your shelf. You got a picture of Kevin Owens, his arms crossed. WWE Fight Owens Fight, the Kevin Owens story. 2-disc set. Of course, this is a Blu-ray, which is why it's 2 discs. And here's the back. You got a picture of Kevin Owens walking right there. You got the description right there. For the first time ever, WWE Home Video takes you through the journey of Kevin Owens and his fight to get to the top of WWE. Hear from the prize fighter himself as he talks about his career on the independent scene, getting to NXT, his road to becoming the WWE Universal Champion. Welcome to the Kevin Owens Show. Includes Blu-ray extras. Of course, got some pictures right there with him and AJ Styles, him and John Cena, him and Sami Zayn from WrestleMania 32, and of course him with the Universal Championship once he won it. So there's a back, looks like on the back. And of course, you open it up. Here's what it looks like, the 2 discs right there from the Blu-ray. You got disc 1 and disc 2. Like the way the disc artwork is with the KO and the white background, the red for this one. I think it looks really nice. And then of course for disc 2, same thing, but the black on the KO instead of the red. And of course, here's the contents. If you want to go ahead and pause it and read it, you guys can. There is a chapter listings right here for disc 1. Here's on disc 1, what is on disc 1, by the way, as well. And of course, have the special features as well. If you guys want to pause and read it. And there's the match listings. The match listings will be in the description anyway, so if you want to go ahead and read it there. If you can't read it right here, that's fine. You also got some extras. You know, you got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn from San Jose from NXT WrestleMania 31 weekend, which was great. Kevin Owens' WWE debut. And then on disc 3, or disc 2, sorry, you just have more matches from Kevin Owens, and of course at the Blu-ray extra matches as well from, you know, a handful of NXT, or a handful of other matches like from NXT and Payback and Raw from Kevin Owens. So that is the entire listing of the set. Let me go ahead and put the disc back. And yeah, overall, I gotta say, this set was it's great. It's a great set. You have a lot of great matches and moments. Like I said, you have 2 segments on there. You have a handful, not a handful, but you have you know, about a dozen matches on there, which we know are all really good to great. Really enjoyed that. The documentary portion, you know, it's only an hour long, so it's not that long, but with it get jam-packed in that hour is very entertaining. And the way the documentary is constructed together, I thought was very well put together. It's a great set. I really enjoyed it. You know, for any Kevin Owens fan, I think it's definitely a must-have. For some people, I may not be familiar with Kevin Owens quite yet. It's definitely the set for you. It pretty much gets, you know, catches up to speed to everything to know about Kevin Owens. Me being such a huge mark for him as I am, I know pretty much majority of everything about them there is to know. You know, I've watched almost all of his shoots, his, you know, old Kevin Steen shows you do in High Spots. I've watched, you know, countless hours of him talking. So a lot of this information, if you're a huge fan like myself, like I said, a lot of this information probably is just a repeat and rehashing what you already know. But for some new people that don't know a lot about him, this is definitely the way to catch up. It's a great documentary. The way it's constructed and put together is very well. I like, you know, the single shots of him, you know, like looking around and, you know, just little things like that while, you know, they're doing voiceovers. I thought was a great touch. So, like I said, even though they're going to rehash and repeat things that some people may already know about Kevin Owens, I felt the way it was constructed and put together was very well put together. Definitely on top quality with their WWE 24 specials, which is great, top-notch stuff. So, documentary is great. The stories are even better because you actually get, on top of the hour documentary, you get an hour of extra stories as well, which didn't make the cut. So it's pretty much a 2-hour documentary. Just some of the extras are an extended version of those. Some of the stories are longer. I think I think the IWS story is like 10 minutes long, so you get some lengthy stories and not, you know, like quick 30 to like maybe a minute and a half stories that, you know, you'd get in some of the older sets. But the stories just go as good as the documentary. You get a lot of great stuff. There's a great story with him, Vince McMahon, so I really enjoyed that one. But the main documentary feature, like I said, rehashes some stuff you might already know if you're a huge Kevin Owens fan. Talks about him getting the wrestling when he's 11 years old, and his dad rented WrestleMania 11 at a VHS store. And, you know, ever since he watched Shawn Michaels wrestle, he was hooked on professional wrestling. Started wrestling when he was 14 years old. Made his professional wrestling debut when he was 16 in 2000. Immediately, he gravitated towards wrestling and, really became really good pretty damn early, which I didn't know how good he was that early on. Like the footage from like 2000, 2001 to like 2004, he looked absolutely awesome. So I really want to go back and watch some of his old IWS Mid-South, not IWS Mid-South, but just his old IWS, footage and just, some of his real early stuff. I want to go back and watch to see how good he really was back in the day, because he's doing some amazing maneuvers there showing that, I didn't even know he could do. Talked about the 4-way in CZW that got him noticed, him, Sami Zayn, and 2 other guys. That was a match that really opened the doors for everywhere else. Ever since they did that match, that 4-way match, that opened the doors to PWG, which opened the doors for Ring of Honor, that opened up to Europe and everything going forward. So that match, that 4-way match they had in CZW, was the match that really was able to give them opportunities that they were able to get today. Kevin Owens talks about wrestling for Ring of Honor, him and Generico teaming up, which was a great time. And them winning the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles was probably one of his favorite moments in wrestling, and got one of the biggest pops he's ever received after they won the tag team titles. Talked about his run in Ring of Honor, and then eventually talked about since Ring of Honor had no plans to make them tag team champions again, that's where the idea of the split came, and of course him planning from Final Battle 2009 to Final Battle 2010. That's where their feud came about. That amazing feud, which got me hooked into independent wrestling. That was an amazing feud. And they went over that, and of course Kevin Owens having to go away from Ring of Honor for a while because of Jim Cornette, and at that point that's when Kevin Owens kind of contemplated if he should even continue wrestling anymore. And, his father talked him into it, saying you can do this, you really wanted this, you can do this, and it's not a dream anymore, it's a goal, and you have to achieve it. And Kevin Owens stayed committed. He came back a completely different person in Ring of Honor. I apologize guys for the background noise. It's 4th of July, party going on. Probably not the smartest decision to record a video when people are a lot of people are at the house, but what can you do? But yeah, Kevin Owens came back in 2011, reinvented himself, became the Ring of Honor World Champion, because that's just what he needed. Even though he felt like he should have got it sooner, he felt like they kind of just gave it to him just to give it to him at that point. But it's still a great moment to see him win the title at Border Wars. And around that time, that's when Sami Zayn got his WWE tryout. Sami Zayn actually signed his WWE contract right in front of Kevin Owens, and that kind of put a sour feeling in Kevin Owens for a little bit, saying how he shouldn't just be there, it should be us. So he kind of got taken back by that, even though that wasn't the intention for Sami Zayn, but Kevin Owens definitely got hurt by that, and that motivated him even more. Once he got that tryout with WWE, he did it. They had footage of his tryout. They had footage of him doing that infamous promo that got him signed after, William Regal was scouted out to go to PWG to, pretty much scout him specifically, and that's when he got his tryout, cut the promo, got signed. They told him that, a lot of the impression a lot of guys got was that Kevin Owens was signed purely for NXT. He wasn't going to go anywhere else but NXT, so that was the impression a lot of them got. But, he went to heights that a lot of people didn't think he'd go to. A lot of people knew how good he was, but they didn't think he'd get as high as he would. Became NXT champion immediately, got called in the main roster up immediately almost. John Cena pitched the idea of feuding with Kevin Owens, and that's why he got called up. Talked about his success, him becoming the Intercontinental champion. That was the one title he always wanted as a kid, was the Intercontinental Championship, because that was his favorite title. So him becoming Intercontinental champion was a very, very special moment for him. Talked about his moment at WrestleMania 32, his entrance. That moment alone, that's what solidified, he knew he made it at that point. He knew he made it to the big times once he made his entrance at WrestleMania 32. And he even said it, if he would have retired at that point, he would have been fine with it. And, talked about his feud with Sami Zayn throughout the summer of 2016, those excellent matches at Payback and Battleground. The match at Battleground was just absolutely amazing between both of them. Then, of course, talked about, SummerSlam, he wanted to be higher up in the card. Wrestling End Zone Cast wasn't an ideal match, but you know what? You're dealt with the cards you're handled. So he wrestled End Zone Cast with Jericho at SummerSlam, which was nice. And then, of course, the documentary ended with him becoming the Universal Champion. Again, I apologize for that. Can't do anything about it. So I hope you guys, can't really hear it that well. But yeah, talk about him becoming Universal Champion, won the championship, and that's pretty much what the documentary ends with, him becoming Universal Champion. Again, I thought this documentary was very well put together. And, there's no other better ending than that, ending with him as Universal Champion, because, his career kind of went downhill a little bit since he won the Universal title, during that Universal title reign. So it was appropriate that it ended when it did. The interviews were great. You had Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano, Jimmy Jacobs, Steve Corino. I wish they would have gotten some other people, or, I wish some of the people that got interviewed went a little bit longer. I wish, would have seen his wife get interviewed. I think that would have been really good. His dad got interviewed, which was really cool. But I really wish she would have been interviewed as well. He has some footage from ROH, a lot of footage from ROH actually, CZW, PWG. So you get a lot of new get a lot of new stuff in here that you haven't seen in past WWE documentaries, really, because Kevin Owens really is kind of one of the first guys to really come from independence to get his own documentary in WWE. So a lot of stuff on here is very indie heavily footage, which I thought was awesome. It was very, very surreal to see that on the WWE DVD. But yeah, our documentary, like I said, it flies by pretty quickly. The stories in there are just as good as the documentary. It's a great watch. Definitely recommend getting it. The matches on here, like I said, are good to great. You have some great matches, especially him and Seth Rollins from Hell in a Cell. I thought that was an awesome match. Him and Sami Zayn from Battleground, definitely was the best match in the set. This is just, it's tremendous. Highly recommend everyone going up and picking it up. Great documentary, great extras as well. Like I said, just arguably as good as the documentary, honestly. They're just a ton of fun, and it's just an overall great set for any Kevin Owens fan. Or like I said, anyone that's not familiar with Kevin Owens. Like I said, the documentary, is a perfect thing for you to catch up on your history of Kevin Owens. Wish they would have went a little bit longer and more in depth. I'm one of those people who like to hear things in depth and kind of drawn out a little bit. But like I said, with the guy in that hour, pretty much summarized his career perfectly, and I have no complaints with it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please leave it below. Like I said, highly recommend you guys going out and picking up Fight Owens Fight, the Kevin Owens story. Personal recommendation, recommend getting the Blu-ray, but if you choose the DVD version of it, that's your preference. But like I said, my personal recommendation would be for the Blu-ray to get. So hope you guys enjoyed the video once again, like I said. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching the video, and have a happy 4th of July.